Mr. Roth, thank you for talking to Novi Magazine.
Thank you.
My first question is that in an interview in 2020, you stressed the urgent for the EU to speak in one voice. Mm-hmm. And that words became even more important after the aggression on Ukraine. Do you think that the EU is still speaking in one voice?
Mm-hmm. Dictator Putin tried to divide the European Union and the international community of countries with a strong commitment to a free, democratic Ukraine. But he failed. And it was one of the biggest success in the history of the United Europe that we already speak with one voice, based on a comprehensive approach. Our major goal is Ukraine must win this war. It's a break of international law that Russia attacks Ukraine. And it's a question of solidarity, and it's in our national and European interest that at the end Ukraine has a real chance to survive as a democratic, free country with territorial integrity.
Now we go back to Western Balkans, and I would like to ask you, what is Germany's general stand towards the EU enlargement, including, of course, the Western Balkans?
The Russian imperialism and colonialism highlighted how important peace, stability, and prosperity is for whole Europe. And the European Union and Germany, as the largest country in the very heart of the European Union, takes a special responsibility. That means we have to do our utmost best to stabilize not just Eastern Europe, but also Southeastern Europe, the Western Balkan states. The enlargement is one of the most successful tools of the European Union to bring peace, democracy, reconciliation, prosperity, and the rule of law, not just to the political elite, but also to the ordinary people at the street, to the societies. And that's why my government and also the German parliament is extremely committed that we have to do our utmost best to support the civil societies and the governments and the parliaments on their way towards the European Union, under quite challenging circumstances.
How do you read? I know that you closely follow this Kosovo-Serbia issue. And how do you read the outcome from this Ohrid meeting now?
I'm here in decisive times for the future of Serbia, for the future of Kosovo, and the way of both countries towards the European Union. Again, I'm extremely committed that 6 Western Balkan states need a real chance to join the European Union. And the normalization dialogue between Serbia and Kosovo is one of the key elements. I have to take into consideration that the civil society here in Serbia is extremely sensitive regarding Kosovo. But at the end, what we really need is brave leadership. Brave leadership of President Vučić, brave leadership of Prime Minister Kurti of Kosovo to overcome these controversies, to establish a common ground for reconciliation, mutual trust, and confidence. And that's why I very much hope that the Ohrid deal is a breakthrough for further progress. And my clear expectation is that both sides implement the promises. This is a huge challenge for Kosovo, but also for Serbia. And I very much hope that there is a chance also for the Serbian president, and also for the government in Kosovo to express their commitment to this deal. I'm not really happy with some comments which water down the essence of this deal. And this deal was...
sorry, you mean German-French deal?
The German-French proposal was the basis for the deal of Ohrid. The negotiations took place under the auspices of the European Union, the Special Envoy Lajčák and also the High Representative for Foreign and Security Policy of the European Union and the Vice President of the European Commission, Borrell. So I very much hope that both sides take leadership and keep their promises.
How would you describe the position of Roma in Europe and particularly in Serbia?
Roma are the largest ethnic minority across Europe, and they play a very crucial role in many European countries, especially in the Western Balkan states here in Serbia. The situation remains extremely difficult. Roma people suffer by poverty, bad education, bad access to health, to the healthcare systems. They suffer by discrimination, and we have to overcome this system of discrimination here in the country, but all over Europe. On one hand, I'm grateful to the Serbian government, which supported the ERIAC office, the European Roma Institute for Culture and Arts. The headquarters is located in Berlin, but we have here a very, very inspiring office. But on the other hand, I would like to encourage the government and the civil society in Serbia to do much more. Roma people are not victims. They inspire our societies, our culture. And the ERIAC is one of the successful initiatives to emphasize that Roma people are committed to a united Europe. And I would like to encourage the Roma people to be proud about their own history, about their contributions for our culture and our European identity.
Okay, and the last question would be would deal with the Bundestag. And just recently, this few days ago, the Bundestag decided to reduce the number of MPs, but still there will be a lot of people in Bundestag. And what I'm interested in is how do you reach decisions, main decisions, with so many people having right to vote and being from different parties and all that?
Controversies are the crucial element of a vivid democracy. And disputes are on my plate almost every day. But I'm extremely grateful if it comes to the Russian aggression against Ukraine, that we have always the chance to form a broad majority in important elements of our politics. That means a broad consensus for our support of Ukraine, in questions of national interest, foreign and security policy. And it doesn't mean that we don't have controversial debates in the German Bundestag. But at the end, except the far right and the far left, we established a constructive dialogue between the governing parties and the opposition. And that's extremely key. And that's why I would like to encourage also the parties and the parliamentary groups here in the parliament, in the Serbian parliament, to express the willingness to cooperate on a minimum basis. I think this is good for the political climate. In my opinion, countries of transformation are extremely polarized. But I'm a social democrat. But my colleagues from the conservative parties are not my enemies. We compete but they are not enemies. And that's also my advice to my colleagues here in the parliament. Controversies are more than okay and more than welcome, but at the end, if it comes to the EU rapprochement, if it comes to the constitution, if it comes to the basic law, if it comes to foreign and security policy, we need a mutual understanding and the willingness to be united and to cooperate. I think this is also an expectation of the civil society, not just here in Serbia, but in many other countries. And I would like to encourage my colleagues to take this responsibility for unity, despite the fact that democracy always means trouble, conflicts, and disputes.
Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you.